In Vivekachudamani, Shankaracharya says in the 330th verse, Yada kada vapi vipaschid esha brahmani anante api anumatra bhedam pashyati atha amushya bhayam tadaiva yad vikshitam bhinnataya pramadat. Whenever a person sees pramadat, because of mistake, through error, whenever a person sees bhinna, difference, that person tadaiva bhayam pashyati, that person sees fear because of that. So most of us are haunted by fear, different kinds of fears, and so how is this fear produced? What is the cause of this fear? In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad it is said, Dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati. Duality produces fear. So, Dvitiyat vai bhayam bhavati. The sense of difference or duality produces fear. So, if you are afraid, that's because of you feel duality or you feel difference. Suppose you go to a place and then say some people are afraid of dogs. So you see some dog coming towards you and then you are afraid. You start sweating, etc. Why does that happen? Because you find yourself different or you think yourself to be different from the dog. And so you think that the dog will come and bite you. So that is why this thing happens, this difference happens. You see someone different from you. You see a leopard. How many of you saw a leopard here? Nobody. हाँ चिड़ियाखाना है ना एखाने एकदम सामने सामना सामने so leopard, if you see a leopard you feel afraid because leopard wants to eat you. That is what you think, though it may not eat you. And leopard wants to eat you, and also leopard is also afraid of you because it is most afraid of the human beings, and you are afraid of the leopard. So it is both ways, it is reciprocal. You are afraid of the leopards and leopards is afraid of you, etc., etc. Why does this happen? Because whenever you see a difference, whenever you think the other person is different from you, then you are afraid. That is the cause of fear. That is also the cause of love. That is also the cause of hatred, envy, jealousy. The entire gamut of human emotions is based on this cause, that you see distinction. The moment you stop seeing distinction, that you understand that there is some kind of commonality, some kind of common thing between you and the other being, even among human beings. You see, we are afraid of other human beings. We are always afraid. We call it different names. We say we are living in a competitive world. It is nothing but a fear. You have given a new name for fear. That's competition. You are afraid in terms of jealousy. Why are you afraid? Because you think that this person will somehow jeopardize my life or my career or my job or my relationship. So there is a person, a man who is in a relationship with a woman, and then he sees that a more capable person is coming, and then he feels challenged. He feels that maybe this relationship will be jeopardized by that person who is more capable, more earning, more intelligent or handsome. So that is what happens, that always you feel a difference. But even as human beings, even biologically speaking, you don't have to believe religion or spirituality. Even biologically speaking, if you can think that all human beings come under the same species, talking of which, what is the species of human beings? What is the species of human beings? Atmat bolo. Huh? What does that mean? Homo sapiens sapiens. So what does that mean? Homo sapiens sapiens. Why two sapiens? What is the difference between Homo sapiens? Is there anything Homo sapiens something else? You know what is the last word? Why have you used Homo sapiens sapiens? Scientific name. So why is there anything else apart from Homo sapiens sapiens? Okay, think about that. So here it is told Bhinnataya Pramadat, because of mistake. So what happens? What I was telling, if you think other person also to be the same species, obviously we all belong to the same species, though maybe differences may be there in terms of culture, language, or education, wealth, etc. These are differences which we have created. But species wise, biologically speaking, or evolutionary biologically speaking, we all belong to the same species. Even if that we were to keep in mind, even if we do not follow any religious doctrine or any faith tradition, if we were to just keep in mind that we all belong to the same species, our life would become much more enjoyable. But we don't have that idea. Actually, we have come down from the caveman. When we were cave people, we had this idea that we all belong to the same species. So we used to do everything in herds. We used to do everything in group mentality, and that was much more fulfilling life for us. So that is why if any one of you starts yawning, other person also will or may yawn. The possibility is very high. Why does that happen? Do you know? If a person smiles, that is also infectious. Why does the if I smile like this, even otherwise many of you are smiling, but if I smile like that, unless you have serious constipation problems, you will also smile. So you will also smile. So that smile is also infectious. Do you know why? Anyone knows why? Anyone from biology?
So because in the earlier days we used to hunt in groups, and we had the same mentality that we should go and help each other to hunt that prey, and we should follow the same rules and regulations as our teammates and
What are you studying now?
science, bioscience.
What are you doing? You're doing graduation.
No, 11.
11th. Oh, in bioscience. Okay. Anybody else with biology or remotely close? Medicine? Nobody. Neurology? Nobody. Okay. High physics. So we have two kinds of brain. One is the brain which is called the frontal cortex. Here there is a brain which is the evolved brain, and we have another brain which is here somewhere, and that is called the primitive brain. All ideas of fear, all ideas of hunger, all ideas of lust, etc., are stored here. All instincts are stored here. So, if anyone knows how to ride a bicycle, that is stored here, and all these kinds of things are stored here. So as you rightly said, when we were cave people, we used to hunt in groups, etc. So when I smile, that means my there is no danger. So other people also start smiling. Yes, there is no danger, like that. And when I yawn, that means it is the time now to go to sleep. So other people also yawn, and that is a huge neurological thing which is called mirror neuron. Anyway, so the idea is that even if we were to understand this same thing of humanity, that is why Rabindranath Tagore wrote something as what is it? Man, Religion of Man. Has anyone read that? Religion of Man? No. So, Religion of Man. He talks about a religion where people are not bothered about the religion as such, but they are having the same religion because they are human beings. Swamiji also says in one place that if we could start with this idea that we are all human beings, much of our problems caused by different distinctions can be ruled away. So that is what Bhinnataya Pramadat Vikshitam. When we by mistake, actually there is only one divine principle. It is by mistake that we see this as different. But even in that difference, when there is only one species of human beings, we see so much of difference. So if by mistake you see lot of differences, then yada kada vapi, whenever a person sees the least difference in Brahmani, in the ultimate truth, that is Brahman or God, the ultimate divine principle. Anumatra Vedam, even a small a trace of difference, least difference one sees, then Bhayam Tadaiva, immediately he becomes a source of fear for that person. that creates fear. The moment you see a person who was your colleague till yesterday become a boss, it happens because that person got promotion, you didn't, and he became a boss. So or she became a boss, and then what happens? You are afraid of that person. You are no more comfortable with that person, and then not only that, you are afraid that in the past when you used to have chit chat with that person, you told so many things, now those things may be used against you. So whenever you see a difference in day to day life, every time, all the time, it happens. So what we should do: shruti smriti nyaya shataihi nishiddhaihi दृश्ये अत्र यः स्वात्ममतिं करोति उपैति दुःख उपरि दुःख जातं निषिद्ध कर्ता स malim lucho yatha. So a person who atra, in this objective universe, in this universe, a person who understand oneself, one who identifies oneself with the body and the mind, with the body and the mind. Your true nature is not the body and the mind, it is beyond that. But though Shruti means that which has been heard by the ears, which has been propagated or transmitted through oral tradition. That is called Shruti. And Smriti means that which has been stored and transmitted by memory. So Shruti are our Vedas, four Vedas, and Smritis are social codes of conduct which keep on changing over time to time. And Nyaya or reasoning, and it has been nishiddhe, it has been rejected or it has been denied. You see, if a person starts studying science, nobody says that, okay, now I will discover law of gravitation. Just we have a very ridiculous way of thinking. That's what I wanted to tell. So when I am studying science, nobody will say that, oh, Newton sat under a tree and the apple fell on the head of Newton. It didn't fall on my head. So how can I believe that there is gravitational force? Does anyone say that? We don't say that. Obviously, we don't say that. We don't say that Newton found the three laws of motion. So how can I accept that? We don't say that. We don't say that Einstein found the general and special theorems of relativity. So I will not accept. Or we don't say all other things about nuclear physics or quantum physics or ordinary physics, chemistry, etc. We just accept what is written in the book. But enter religion, and if somebody says that Jesus found this so many years back, or Buddha found this 2500 years back, then you said, it was Buddha who found. How can I believe that? And then suddenly you become rational and logical. When you get up in the morning, you go to the bathroom and mostly you are half asleep, and you just put your hand at the place where you have kept the toothbrush. You don't even question that the toothbrush could have gone here and there. We always believe in certain things. You believe that when you sit on your motorbike or a car, it will start. You never have a doubt that it may not start. But actually, probability wise, it may not start. There is a high probability. But still, you sit, and when it doesn't start, you say, oh, what happened? When you sit in front of your computer, you always have the confidence that it will start. But there is a high probability of its crashing. But still, you don't even think that. And then you say, I reason everything. It is logically I live. What logic is there when you just go to a person, it could be a she or a he, and say that I love you? There is no logic for that. Human beings, or any being for that matter, we don't live on logic. It is stupid or even irrational to say that we are all logical. We are most illogical people. But come religion and immediately you become illogical. Actually, you become logical. We don't understand one thing, that it is the fear of losing our individuality that we don't want to pursue religion. We think that if I get joy, then I will also lose my ego. So that is your ego speaking. It doesn't want you to actually learn anything new, or it doesn't want you to give up ego. So Shruti Smriti Nyaya Shataihi, by hundreds of reasoning, hundreds of people across world traditions. You see, Swamiji one place says, we say this religion is different, that religion is different. Okay, there may be differences in religions, but all religions say that you are not the body and the mind. That is said by every religion. All religions talk about some divine principle. It may be with form, without form. It may be have you can worship them through images or not. But they are all unanimous that there is some divine principle. All religion says that this world and the enjoyment of this world is not true. So that means across the world, across centuries, there have been so many religions and so many scriptures which deny that you are the body and the mind. And yet, nishiddhe, it has been denied or rejected. Yet, atra drishyeh yah swatmamatim karoti. Yet, a person who in this objective universe thinks of that body and mind to be true, a person who thinks that this body and mind is my existence, that person, what happens? That person has upaiti dukkha upari dukkha jatam. One after the other, the person has to suffer. The person has to have suffering. So if you were to travel from here, from this ashrama to Delhi, you while going on the road, you will see so many signposts that Delhi so many kilometers, Delhi so many kilometers. That is how you know that you are on the correct path. Similarly, in spirituality or in any other science, you have so many signposts. But what do? We ignore those signposts. Suppose a person were supposed to travel to Delhi and doesn't see those signposts. It says something else and he is going towards Mumbai. So that's what happens with us also. We know that what we are doing will create misery, but still it is like the beautiful example of Sri Ramakrishna. He says a camel eats cactus and the mouth gets bled. There is so much bleeding, but still the camel eats cactus. So it's like that. Dukkha upari dukkha jatam. One after other, the miseries starts coming. Nishiddha karta sa malim lucho yatha. It is like a person who is like a nishiddha karta, who does something forbidden, who does something which is not supposed to be done, like a thief. So a thief knows that if I steal, I will get punishment. But the maxim is that you can do stealing till you get caught. No. So you can do whatever you can do churi till you get caught. So that is the idea. So people keep on stealing, but one day they will be caught. And so similarly, and once that person is caught, or even when the person is stealing, fear, anxiety, and the constant fear of getting caught, and all these things. You cannot also spend money. A person who has stolen money cannot openly spend money because then he will come under the radar of police. So you cannot do that. So a person who does like that, a person who thinks that one is the body and the mind, which has been denied by all religions and so many people, and even if you sit and think logically, that cannot be true. A person who thinks, even then, even after all these things, a person who thinks that one is the body and the mind, that person will get suffering after suffering. So the reason why you suffer is because you think you are the body and the mind. Satya abhisandhana rato vimuktah mahatvam atmiyam upaiti nityam mithya abhisandhana ratastu nashyet drishtam tadetat yad achaura chorayoho. A person who is devoted to the search of reality, Satya Abhisandhana. Abhisandhana means a person who is meditating on reality or who is researching on reality, who is in search of reality. Vimuktaha. That person becomes free. He is free from what? That person is free from ignorance. And so the person doesn't have to come again and again into this world, doesn't have to take birth again and again. And mahatvam, atmiya mahatvam upaiti nityam. That person, she attains the glory, nityam, eternal glory of Atman. So a person who is in search of one's true self, she becomes free and she attains the glory of Atman, Nityam, eternal glory of Atman. Mithya abhisandana ratastu nashyet. And also a person, but a person who is running after the unreal, a person who is running after that which is false, that which is impermanent. What happens? That person is nashyet, that person is destroyed. That person is destroyed. Just like that, drishtam tadetat. So this is seen in one case where a person is a thief and a person is not a thief. So there is this interesting story. So there used to be a hot rod or a hot axe. Hot means it was made hot. Iron, but it was made hot. And it will be given to thieves, people who are accused or who are suspected. So suspects will be brought in and they will be asked to hold that in their hand. So if the hand was burnt, it means that he is the thief. And if it was not burnt, it means that he was, what you call, not the thief. So that was the kind of test which was done. In most cases, what happens? That there will be some trick tests also, where the thief will be found out because the thief will not want to touch that. So usually the rod will never be hot at all. It is like a trick test. It is just a simple rod and maybe made some decoration so that it appears like red, and the person will be asked to touch, and the thief knows that if I touch, my hand will be burned, so he will not touch. So that is what happens. Here also, that example is given. A person who thinks of truth, just like a thief who has, a person who has done the theft, if he touches the rod, then his hand will be burnt. Similarly, like a person who is thinking on the unreal universe, if a person is meditating on the unreal universe, that person's whole life will be destroyed. The person's very entity will be destroyed because that person is thinking of something unreal. So, thinking of something which is unreal, you cannot become real. Just like in career, we say you opt for a career which has no future, or a career which doesn't have much possibilities. So you cannot have a good life with that in the material sense. Similarly, a person who thinks that I am the body and the mind. So your body and mind is constantly changing. Your mind is not what it was in the morning. In the evening, it is in a different mood. Similarly, your body, it has changed since your childhood. So how can you be that body and mind? Yatihi asad anusandhim bandha hetum vihaya swayam ayam aham asmi iti atma drishthyaiva tishtet sukhayati nanu nishtha brahmani swa anubhutya harati parama vidya karya dukkham pratitam. So yati means sannyasi. The sannyasi, what should the sannyasi do? So here sannyasi doesn't mean only the person who has taken to a monastic life. Here sannyasi means anybody who can do this. Sannyasa means samyak nyasa, means complete renunciation. So that can be done by anybody. So yatihi, a person who is a sannyasi, that person, what should do that person do? Asad anusandhim vihaya. That person should give up running after something which is unreal. So we run after things which are unreal. Like we want money, we want good spouse, we want a good career, etc. So you just give that up. Why? Because it is bandha hetu. It is the cause or hetu of bandha, bondage. It will always create bondage. And so, swayam ayam aham asmi iti atma drishthyaiva tishtet. And instead of running after these things, you fix your thought on your true self, on the Atman, and think that aham asmi iti, I am this. I am this Atman, which is beyond the mind and the body. Sukhayati nanu nishta brahmani swanubhutya. And this Brahmani Nishta, this steadfastness, this devotion to your true nature, through the realization of Swa Anubhutya, of one's own personality, will give Harati Parama Vidya, and it will give lot of joy or bliss, and it will Parama Vidya, and it will remove the ignorance which causes dukkham, which causes whatever experiences of misery or suffering you have. That is what Shankaracharya says here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.